Hey everybody, welcome back to my coverage of the PogChamps 3 tournament. This is the Ludwig versus CodeMiko match, game 2. If you missed game 1, I'll put it in the info card up there. You can go check it out and come back and watch this video. CodeMiko does have the white pieces this game, so let's see if she can win this game and take us to an Armageddon game. We have e4 and e5 from Ludwig, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4 from CodeMiko, the Italian game, and bishop c5 from Ludwig, the Guico piano. Very classical game, very classical from both players so far, and they're doing a good job developing their pieces. And here, CodeMiko plays this move, bishop d5, which is not the best move because you already developed this bishop. You really should be developing your other pieces. You don't need to move this bishop again. And yeah, just ask yourself here, what is this bishop doing on this diagonal? It's looking at this knight. It's not looking backwards at all because there's a pawn there, and you're not going to want to trade your bishop for this knight. If you wanted to do that, you should have just played the Ruy Lopez with bishop to b5 in the first place. So yeah, this bishop to d5 move, not the best, but we have it. We have knight f6 from Ludwig and now c4 from CodeMiko, and this actually loses material for CodeMiko after the move knight to d4. And it gets really complicated. Basically, black here is threatening to play c6 and trap the bishop, and it's kind of hard to get your bishop out of there because you've blocked it in with pawns. White can make things complicated after knight takes e5 and queen e7, but white is still going to be losing a piece here. So I'm not going to go through all the lines because there are a lot of lines in this variation, and it is pretty complicated. But Ludwig did have this knight d4 tactic, though unsurprisingly, he didn't play it. Like I said, it is very complicated. There were a lot of variations. Instead, we have a d6 from Ludwig, which is a totally fine move as well, just looking to get that light squared bishop developed. We have knight c3 from CodeMiko. This actually gives Ludwig another chance at this knight d4 type of trick. So here, in order to, the way to prevent this tactic from happening as CodeMiko is you have to trade this bishop for this knight just to avoid getting your bishop trapped later on. But we have knight c3 from CodeMiko and knight g4 from Ludwig. And this isn't really a great move because really the only thing the knight's doing here is pressuring this f2 square, and CodeMiko can easily defend simply by castling and then playing h3, which will kick the knight back to f6. So this knight move doesn't really do much. A bishop would have been much better placed on g4, and this knight was doing fine here on f6. So CodeMiko does defend by castling, and yeah, here you don't really want to trade two pieces for the rook and the pawn. Here is black. We have knight d4 from black. So once again, if there was a bishop on g4 pinning this knight d4 move would have been a lot stronger. But this knight d4 move is fine too. You know, this knight is in an outpost. It does give CodeMiko the chance to trade off this knight. Will she do that? She simply plays h3, which is totally okay too. We have knight f6 and knight g5 now from CodeMiko, pressuring this f7 pawn in Ludwig's position. So Ludwig has to defend, and he does so by castling. However, Ludwig did have this tactic that he missed here, which was knight takes d5. And the idea is you're capturing a piece, and this queen also gives a discovered attack on this knight. So if you recapture the piece, you lose your knight, and if you don't recapture the piece, you're just losing a piece for nothing. So here we could see something like knight takes f7 from CodeMiko. Just, you know, trying to get as much material as she can for that knight. This also attacks the queen, so here you have to take the knight. You could actually first trade on c3 here first, but it doesn't actually win any more material because after knight takes c3 and like d takes c3, now this knight is attacked. So you would still, it doesn't matter too much. Here we could simply see something like king takes f7 and now e takes d5 or c takes d5, either way. But black would still be up a piece in the end. So Ludwig did have this tactic. He missed it. Instead, he castled, just defending his f7 pawn anyway, which is good. And black is still probably better here. We have d3 from CodeMiko. So now this bishop defends the knight. This knight takes d5 tactic is no longer available. We have c6 from Ludwig now. Now CodeMiko's bishop is trapped. However, she does have the option to trade this bishop for a rook and a pawn, trade to the two pieces for a rook and the pawn, which is not something you generally want to do, but it's better than losing the bishop outright. So will CodeMiko go for that. She only has a couple legal moves with the bishop. Here, actually, CodeMiko considered the move bishop to e6, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I just see that square as attacked by the pawn, also by the knight, and by the bishop. So most importantly, the pawn, though. So I'm not exactly sure what she was thinking with that move, but she ends up just ignoring it and playing bishop e3. So yeah, you definitely want to trade this rook and pawn for the bishop and knight here, because otherwise you're just losing the bishop outright. Ludwig does take this bishop, c takes d5, and we have knight takes d5, CodeMiko recapturing that pawn. We have knight takes d5 now and e takes d5. Just trading more pieces. Ludwig is totally okay with this because he's up in material. We have knight f5 from Ludwig, going for more trades, and bishop takes c5 from CodeMiko. And here Ludwig doesn't actually capture this bishop back with d cross c5, but instead he noticed that now he can take this knight on g5 and also develop his queen at the same time, which is probably better than just taking this back. I mean, you kind of maintain your pawn structure, you prevent white's center from being too overwhelming. So queen takes g5 is definitely the preferable move here. And now CodeMiko has to save her bishop too. But CodeMiko throws in this move first, which is f4. So this is hitting the queen, but unfortunately, this square is attacked twice. It's only defended once. So this just loses a pawn. Obviously, you have to take with the pawn and not the queen because the rook defends, so you don't want to lose your queen. So first, Ludwig plays not e takes f4, but queen g6. So yeah, you definitely could have just taken this pawn here as Ludwig. Not sure what he was thinking there, or if he just... yeah, not sure what Ludwig was thinking there. But now CodeMiko will save her bishop. So we have rook to f2 by CodeMiko. She did not save her bishop. Maybe she just forgot that it was hanging. So now we're expecting Ludwig to take this bishop. And he does not with knight h4. And so, yeah, I don't know why Ludwig was not taking this bishop. But yeah, this knight h4 move is not even really threatening anything because this rook defends g2. So, however, on the other hand, it's kind of hard to kick away this knight because you don't really want to play g3, or you can't even play g3 now. Also, Ludwig is actually threatening bishop takes h3 in this position. So CodeMiko does save this bishop takes h3 threat with the move king f1. However, her bishop is still hanging, so now we're going to see Ludwig not take this bishop with bishop f5. And I guess he's just going after this d pawn here. And here CodeMiko defends her bishop, but that's not it because a pawn is worth less than a bishop. So defending your bishop is not going to do much. She plays b4. This game is really crazy, and I don't know what was going through either player's heads with this hanging bishop this whole time. Sometimes you just get blind spots in chess. We do have bishop takes d3 check, though, because CodeMiko did not defend this d3 spot another time. And here we have, here you just have to play king back to g1 and be fine. I think CodeMiko was a little scared of that because of this sort of pressure on g2, but it's just what you have to do here. Instead, CodeMiko blocks with her rook. She plays rook e2, and now that this rook is pinned to the king, it doesn't actually defend this g2 square anymore. So Ludwig goes ahead, takes on g2, and this is actually a mate in 2 because white only has one legal move here, king e1, and knight f3 is going to be checkmate. The knight covers these squares, and queen covers everywhere else. So yeah, pretty quick win by Ludwig. We were all expecting him to win this match, and he does. So here are the standings for Group D so far. Ludwig and Moist Critical on top, Mr. Beast and CodeMiko on bottom. Ludwig still needs to play Moist Critical, and Mr. Beast still needs to play CodeMiko, so those matches are going to be happening very soon. I don't think I have anything else to say, so check out my PogChamps 3 playlist. It's up there, and check out another video on the left side of the screen. Subscribe for all things chess. I love you guys, and keep watching, I guess. I don't know. Thank you for watching.